to So I'm going to run you through some basic rules of the road, a lot of sidebars on bidding and estimating.
I think this is a great program. We've been doing it, I guess, almost 15 years now.
My name is Andreas Grote. I'm also the owner of New World Gardens, and I'm the president of the American National Institute. And these wonderful gentlemen over here are board members. We have a board meeting today, so highly official stuff. And we just wanted to welcome all of you, to this great class, first class of 2017.
Pro for CCBC is having an affiliation with industry and driving jobs.
You need to be a CCBC employee. It's a formal document that outlines. Right. So things have changed.
You remember that?
Yeah.
More money gets you more plant material, larger sizes, instant gratification. You say, so what is your budget? I can spend $1,500. You do not have to bid on every person that contacts you. When you can pin down what kind of budget you want, let's talk again. Can you make it 15 feet bigger? All right, now you're going to be writing the contract.
Then eventually we would like to come to job sites as well. I'm going to contact some of the employers and ask if that's okay for us to show up. Just a selected group of maybe 3 or 5 students, and we're going to have a little interview with uniform and the whole 9 yards,
I'm standing here with Ted Christensen. We are at Maxalia Nurseries in Towson, one of the largest landscape companies in the area. And so, Ted, tell me a little bit about what is it that you love or not love about what you're doing today. Tell me first, what is it actually that you're doing?
Well, there's very few things that I don't love about this, so that's kind of, can knock that off the list.
Yeah.
But I love waking up and working with the guys. They're a bunch of good guys, hardworking guys. And I love seeing the before and after picture, creating a landscaping. And it's beautiful afterwards, and it's the best feeling ever. It really is. It's awesome. And then the owners come out and they're huge smiles, they love the look of it. So that's a great feeling about it. I love being outside, love the fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
So that's enough.
So, Ted, do you feel like you're in a good place in life?
Yes, I feel I do.
You feel like you're going the right direction?
Yes, I've been given so many opportunities. ALI is a big thing for me. I've gotten the choice to do the 401k already. I've gotten raises and stuff like that already. So I feel like I've been doing good. I've been given a bunch of blessings, in this company. It's a great company, so
Wonderful.
I'm happy where I am.
Wonderful.
Sure.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Ted, when you were little, what was your dream job? What is it that you thought you wanted to be?
Well, when I was little, I was into sports. I played a lot of sports, so I always, the go-to was be a professional football player, so that was it. But I always loved being outside, and I loved nature when I was little, but I never knew that I was going to be, given the job to work in nature and create it,
Right.
So that came on later in life, and I love it. I love that where I became,
Mm-hmm. So this all is very positive, what you have to say. So what is it that you could say to young people? If you would stand in front of a class right now, what is it that you could tell them, about the industry and about the job that you are doing?
Well, I would say if you love hands-on work, if you love being outside, if you love being with great people, hardworking people, you know, landscaping is the go-to.
And
Yeah.
make good money
And you
doing
can make
it.
great money. Yes, you can. Yeah, and
Yeah.
work a bunch of hours, work good hours. So yes, I feel like landscaping is a great opportunity. For
Does that
everyone.
make a
generation.
good difference in your life that you're actually earning good money
Yes.
when you're comparing? Also, a lot of your friends, I suppose, are in college right now.
Yes.
And
Yep.
so, how's their life in comparison to yours?
See, so some of my friends are in college right now, and one of my friends, for example, came back and he works at a little takeout seafood place, and I feel like he missed the boat because he's a very smart kid too, but I stopped college, stopped going to school and everything, because I wanted to go to work, and I was like, this isn't for me.
You made a real commitment.
And I feel like I've been earning and been given all these opportunities, and I feel like he was like, oh man, I should have done the same thing, you know.
I'm glad you say it this way, Ted, because I'm a great believer that we all have our place. And if you find that place, you know, then you can excel and you really have a great, bright future ahead of you. You know?
Thank you.
Ted, we had talked about student exchange. There's the possibility of going to Europe one day for students like you know, within the program. What is your feeling about that?
That's awesome. I've always wanted to travel overseas. I've never been out of the country, and that would be so cool to see different landscapes, you know, different geography. It would be awesome. Different parts of the world.
Wonderful.
For sure.
Ted,
I'd love
I think thank you so much for giving me the time
No problem.
of interviewing you and hearing some about your experience. Yeah, and
You're very welcome. You're very-
we are at St. Timothy School off Green Spring Avenue, and we're going to interview Dave Pilson, is his name.
My name's Dave Pilson. I'm working at Natural Concerns. We're doing a job right here at St. Timothy School.
You are right now attending the American Landscape Institute, and so every Friday you're going to take classes there, which is held by CCBC. Do you feel like this is a good program?
I do. Just in the first two, like you said, this is the first semester that we've started, and just in the first 3 classes that we've had, I've already started to learn plant names by their Latin root, been able to identify them just by their leaves or by their stem or bud. And the other class is helping with our design and going over bids and being able to read blueprints more effectively.
Right. So even so, you do have already some experience in the industry. You are certainly learning more that you didn't know before.
Exactly.
How did you get into landscaping? How did you get into horticulture?
Well, when I was in college, I worked at Bahama Breeze, and one person that worked there with me started doing a weeding jobs, a couple around Owings Mills, and I worked with her a couple times. And I've been friends with Chris Garcelon, the maintenance manager at this company, for at least 10 years. He said that they needed people to work, and I came out and started.
Right. And so Do you feel like that you're in a good place in life?
Yeah.
Are you making the money that you want to make?
Yeah, and I enjoy what I do, and I think that's what matters more than making the money is being outside and enjoying what you do.
I couldn't agree more. You know, because this is, yes, money is important. I need to pay my bills, and I certainly can. I'm making all the money that I need to make, but it's also important to go home at the end of the day and really feel good about what you're doing, right? Look back, you know, and look what a place you're working at. I mean, this is a phenomenal school. We are right now at St. Timothy School.
St. Tim Private School, yeah.
Wonderful, yeah. When you were little, what is it that you wanted to be? What was your dream job that you thought you would do one day?
I honestly didn't know. I've switched ideas so many different times,
Right.
wanting to go into law enforcement or being a doctor or something like that. And like I said, I was in college. I went for exercise science. I have a degree in that, but I just
Right.
fell into this.
Did you enjoy sports?
I did. That's kind of why I got into exercise science. But then seeing the clientele and then seeing the clientele with landscaping, I figured there was more there.
Yeah, I asked that question because in our profession, you know, to have a good functional body is really important. And I love that, you know, I can do these things every day. I can push a wheelbarrow and shovel and do everything because my body allows me to do that and it feels good. You know,
does.
everybody who does sports, this is kind of like sports. It's my gym. No?
8-hour workout.
8-hour workout. You're absolutely right. Are you making the money that you need to make? Are you financially in a good place?
Yes. I would not say that I'm struggling at all.
Yeah.
This company definitely takes care of me, and they take care of all their employees, I feel.
Yeah. And then in comparison to other friends that did go to college, where do you think you are in comparison to your friends that had taken that route?
I'm probably in the middle because a lot of my friends that did go to college, they're still looking for jobs too, or some of them aren't even doing jobs in their field, so they had to go back to college and spend more money.
Exactly. That seems to be, even so you go to college, it doesn't always work out that way, doesn't it? No?
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people who never stop being a waiter.
Yeah.
No, I mean, really, they spent all their money on college and that didn't really, you know, work in their profession at the end, you know, which is a shame.
Yeah.
So,
They couldn't get the opportunities.
right, exactly. I'm not sure if you have heard about the opportunity of possibly working overseas and have some form of exchange.
Oh, cool.
I mean, you know, I'm from Germany and we have Alan Jones who's from England. And so there could possibly the opportunity of going for 4 to 6 weeks to any of these places, to work in a company there, to go to school overseas and come back with that experience. Do you think that would be appealing to you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
That'd be an awesome experience.
I would agree. And you would come back with that experience, you know, as a different person, you know, and bring that,
Be able to
you
look
know,
from a different perspective.
yeah.
Fertilizer for the plants. We dunk the plants in them and plant them.
So we are going to conclude our visit today at St. Timothy School, and we are moving on to our next student interview.
You know, I look back and
working here and seeing the properties and how beautiful they are, and to be a part of making it that beautiful is something that I really truly enjoy.
So I think you are in a good place, right? You're in a good place in life?
I fell into the most wonderful place I could fall in at the time of my life where I am.
Tracy, when you were little,
Hmm.
what is it that you wanted to be? What was your dream?
When I was little, believe it or not, going through being little, I don't really remember. Maybe a dancer.
A dancer?
But
Interesting.
then, yeah, I enjoy doing makeup. I enjoy just making other people feel good.
Right.
In any aspect.
So you have obviously done very different things.
Yeah.
Giant, yoga,
Right.
Reiki.
Esthetician, makeup,
exactly.
facials.
But do you feel like you are right now, this is going to be the next 10 years for you?
This will be, yes. I feel I finally found something that my career can be.
Right.
And yes, I'll still teach yoga and I'll still do those things.
Right.
But this is my main job.
Yeah, yeah.
And I enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, and so do I. Have you heard of the possibility of international exchange that we are thinking about doing within the school? So we are, you know, I'm German, and we have other people that are from England. So there is the possibility of somebody to go for maybe 4 weeks or so to overseas, to England, to Germany. I mean, you're a mom with still relatively young kids. Maybe that does not apply for you, but would that be exciting?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That would be, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And to really see what happens other places, how they operate, and what do they
Just the
teach
way
and
that
learn.
their
No?
landscaping is and how they design things too would be
Right.
an interesting, on an architectural side of learning how
Right.
they do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would not offer that the first year,
Right.
but we would offer that for the second year student.
Mhm.
No? So we're working on that for next year.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Tell me again, what is it really that you love about your job? And maybe tell me also what you don't.
I can't say there's something that I don't love. I mean, you have to find joy in every aspect of it. And something as simple as weeding is a very therapeutic thing for me. So to be in that mindset while I'm working is amazing for me. So I try to find joy in everything in that aspect. But what I love the most in my job right now is probably learning the pruning and all of that to see properly how to take something that may be overgrown and bring it back. So learning all of the things that I'm learning right now.
And your team members,
Yes.
they take
showing
you
me.
aside and make sure that you every day you learn something new.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now that I'm in school, I can bring questions forward, and they have been helping me, show me different things that I need to learn.
Right.
And that's kind of like my yoga and teaching and my yoga practice. It's forever. It's never ending. You're constantly going to learn.
Right. I agree. I
So,
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was excited to see that there were so many students too. Like, I
Exactly.
was like,
This is a
this
full
awesome.
class. No.
Yeah.
Not all of the students in your class are part of ALI.
Right. There's 13, I think.
Yeah. Exactly.
But still, that's
That
a
being
great
said,
group.
what do you think would make young people make that turn and come and join us? What is it that gets young people into the class? Look, you came into this
came
after
into
you're
it-
so much, after you've done already so much, and all of a
Right.
sudden you feel like you were in the right place.
Yes.
What would have taken it for you to come into the
I think
class
there's a
earlier
lack
in
of
life?
appreciation and understanding for the simple things in nature. You know, and the world that we have around us, all of the beauty. I think a lot of my yoga practice and teaching had brought my awareness to what started
Right.
Earth and the flowers and nature, like, and my appreciation for that.
Right. This was really. Thank you so much for taking
you.
your time.
Sure.
No. And yeah, I mean, you're working beautiful places, no?
Things aren't as wet.
luck, no guarantee. You put a lot of money into a deep hole and hope that something comes out of it. That's really what it is.
No, we just want to signal trying to automate the process as much as possible.
Right. But that's why you really need young people to take good positions in it to grow. So we are here at American Native Plant Nursery at Marshy Point in Middle River.
In Middle River.
And Lauren, what is your full name?
Lauren Makowicki.
Makowicki. That was
Makowicki.
what is an interesting last name that
Thank
I
you.
didn't get. Lauren, tell me what you love about being here and working here at the nursery.
I love the environment. It's so open and it's freeing, and seeing all of the wildlife, because we're right by Dundee Creek. So we see the eagles and the ospreys and all of the different caterpillars and insects that come through here that are just a part of the ecosystem. It's amazing, and it's nice to be a part of it.
Right. And so not only do you work in a big nursery, but you're surrounded by a lot of nature here as well. No, and it all seems to be one.
It's
no?
amazing.
I mean, Marshy Point is an incredible part of Maryland. A lot of people do not know about it.
Yeah.
What is it that you do not love about being here?
That I don't love about being
That you do not love?
The spiders.
The spiders. Okay,
I'm not
that's
a fan
an honest.
of the spiders,
That's an honest
and
comment.
there's a lot of interesting spiders that are around here that I've never seen, and I don't know if it's just from being by the water or if it's just the variety of different plants.
When you were little, what is it that you thought you wanted to be? What was your dream?
I wanted to do marine biology for some reason, and plants have always just been there for me. Doing the gardens growing up, being outside with my dad, it's always just been an interest in me. And then when I found the program for high school, I was like, I'm gonna run with this. I'm gonna get it, and got my CPH, and I was like, I don't want to do plants for the rest of my life.
Right.
Who am I kidding? Like, who wants to crawl in the dirt? And I just couldn't get away from it. So I heard about the program, and I was like, this is an amazing opportunity. Why would I not take that opportunity and grow? Because I love it. I love working with the plants and seeing what you have to do to make them grow to their full potential. And it's amazing. It's an amazing process.
Yeah. Do you feel like that you're well compensated? Do you feel like you're making the money that you want to make at this point in time? And I mean, we have to say you have just started here, right?
Yeah.
You're here how long?
Since June.
Since June. So a
Since
very
June.
short period of
Yeah.
time. And obviously, I'm sure there is more time to advance financially. But do you feel like you're in a good place?
I am. I love it. And everybody always says, like, you should find something that you love, and it's not work. And I don't feel like I'm coming to work when I come here. It's
Right.
an amazing experience. Like, it's amazing to be able to just work and you love what you're doing, and I wouldn't even take a paycheck if I had to.
And you're making a buck as well. Let's
Yep.
not talk around that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
important to pay the mortgage, right?
Yep.
To the rent. Yep.
It is.
If you would want to talk to some young people, what would you tell them? No?
About the industry?
About the industry. What is the experience? What do you think is really... How would you want to tell a kid, I think this is really for you. This is really great.
You need it. We can't let the world go to waste. And if we can improve it like one plant at a time, or like educating somebody about how to put a tree in the right spot to like help with the water and to help with the environment and to like get the wildlife back in an area, I would. I think that's something that's dying in like my age group. Like, nobody cares about the environment anymore, and it's really important to like educate them and say, hey, yeah, you don't have to sit there and like crawl in the dirt all day, but you have to worry about our environment. You have to do a positive thing every day, and it helps out when you know what to do, when you know what plants to use.
I actually think with the green wave, there is a lot of interest about gardening, about saving the globe, the environment. But I think a lot of people don't know
where to start.
Where is my place in this? I have an interest in this, but where's, and there are so many different ways.
Yeah.
You're working in a native plant nursery. Tell me a little bit about this nursery. What kind of plants do you grow here?
We grow native trees, shrubs, herbaceous, and a
What
lot
are
of
herbaceous?
herbaceous are like the different types of grasses and like flowering plants that we use. A lot of people, a lot of our customers are for like the stormwater management. So that's interesting to see what kind of plants that they're buying to help with the stormwater management in like the highway, ravines, and it's interesting to see even the trees for doing Arbor Day, seeing like what different areas want different trees and where they're supposed to grow and what plants need more dry soil and what need more wet. And it's amazing to see, like, I had no idea that there were so many native plants and I felt kind of dumb. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is native and this isn't native and this is working and this brings in the checker spot butterfly and all of that. Like it's amazing to see. And like the monarch butterfly caterpillars that we had at work are like amazing to see that it all works together, that it's this big giant circle here.
Where do these plants go when they leave the nursery?
The plants, they go all over, honestly. We go up to Massachusetts and down to Georgia and to Ohio. They go all over.
Wow, so you're supporting a good part of the East Coast.
Yes.
What is it that you really do here?
For the most part, I do a lot of the plant propagation. I do a lot of planting and kind of like trial and error with that type of stuff. We use different soil mediums and we try to figure out what's going on with that. And recently they've been having me do some inventory and counting and seeing the more office side as well. And I've recently been calipering trees, which is
so
an interesting...
you're looking into a lot of different areas of nursery work.
Yes.
It's not just about
it's not
sticking
just
a plant
growing
in
the
a pot and grow it. There's much more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this was a great interview.
Thank you.
Come on, caliber some tree, Lauren.
Yeah. It's interesting. I would have never thought to caliper a tree, to see how big of a difference it makes from like a half-inch tree to an inch or an inch and a quarter.
Oh, look at that. That was a good sign, wasn't it?
So cool.
That was special. Oh, now it's only 2. That was great. Okay, Kayla. So we're at Babico Greenhouses in White Marsh. Kayla, what are you doing here?
Oh, well, a bunch of different things. I was working in the propagation shed earlier when I first got into Babico and doing taking some clippings of different plants and propagating, sowing some seeds. And so now I'm out on the fields doing some pickings, orders for some clients, different landscape companies like Mikhail, which is actually like one of the landscapers in the program. And yeah, just out here observing everything while I'm working and having a good time.
So you're being exposed to different aspects of nursery production. You're not just doing one thing.
No.
What is it that you love about being at Babicos and working here at this great perennial nursery?
Yeah, I think my favorite part is being able to see all the different plants kind of in large formations, so I can kind of see how they're interacting with each other and see them in like large scale and like see them at different stages. You know, I'm able to see them from the time they're like little sprouts to like the mature, gallon, 2 gallon plants. I think that's really important, and being able to kind of observe them, like in the wind, just like little things like that.
Right.
What kind of pollinators, like the sedum autumn joy, like I would have never known how crazy the pollinators go for it unless I'm out here observing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And I
stuff
know
like
you're
that.
also an artist. So I have to assume that you're also inspired by these colors, these textures,
Oh, yeah.
you know, because it's just endless, isn't it? And every
Yeah.
week changing, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, different things are coming up every week. Different things are changing, like the Amsonia. I love them. They're just the ones that kind of flow in the wind. They're turning kind of oranges and bronzes right now, and that's really neat to see because, you know, in the spring, I'm excited they're going to be blue, have like blue plumes coming up. So yeah, everything's always changing.
True.
Yeah, it's really
True.
inspiring.
Kayla, when you were little, what was your dream? What is it that you thought you would be one day? What was your dream job?
I kind of thought I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was a kid, but I realized I was a little scared of the ocean, so then I started kind of getting into art. I did photography all throughout high school, but at the same time I was also in environmental science club, Envirothon, and I was kind of doing art and things involving nature at the same time simultaneously.
Right.
And then went to school for art, and then was trying to figure out a career path I wanted to grow into, and was like, oh, I'll just take, you know, my love of nature and plants and take the art stuff and kind of...
And make a profession out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And so this certainly is a good way of making a living.
Oh yeah.
Are you doing okay? Are you getting compensated in a good way?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, I was in the process of trying to figure out getting into landscaping, finding a job in landscaping actually, and I didn't have experience, so it was hard to kind of find that. But when I found the program, I was like, oh, well, I get a full-time job, you know, being sponsored, and I'm also learning.
Kayla, let me assure you, when you are out of this program, you will have no problems whatsoever finding a job anywhere. No, any landscape company or nursery would love to have you.
Oh,
no?
yeah.
So this is that's why we have this program to train people well that you of great use for the industry. You know? You're so enthusiastic, and when I talk to the people in the office, you're well loved because you have so much enthusiasm for the plants and the industry. You know, that is really great to see.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, I really love it. It feels like I'm in a dream all the time, honestly. It really does.
Wonderful. And Lauren, who I talked to earlier, she is interesting because she also wanted to be a marine biologist.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
That's so funny.
And so when you were little, apparently the two of you already had the senses this kind of is a fit, you know, outside, water, you know, plants, fish, you know. And now you're standing here, no? Do you feel like this is something you're going to do for a good while? For the next 5 years, 10 years?
Oh, the rest of my life probably. I just can't see myself doing anything else now that I've experienced this and know it's an option.
And I had that feeling, Kayla, when I met you the very first time. I thought, wow, this woman has spark. She really, and this is what it takes. No, it really, you have to embrace it, you know, for all the way. It's not about money.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Even so, it's important to also make a good living.
Yeah.
But at the end, you need to come home and really feel good about the day. No?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel sorry for the people that don't have the experience that we do.
Yeah, I'm sitting there sharing all these pictures I've taken and all these like creatures that I've seen, and everybody's like, "Oh wow, that's so cool! Like, how could I do that?" I'm like, "Look at the program. Here, I'll give you some information
It's simple,
on it."
isn't
And,
it?
yeah,
It's really not rocket science, no? Yeah, I agree. So, thank you so much, Kayla. You know, for taking the time.
Yeah, of course.
And here we are at a beautiful northern Baltimore County horse farm, and my friend and designer Trina Gay, we are right now designing a wedding garden for next year. And Trina, explain what we are planning to do here.
First, we look at the site and we get a feel for it. And what we thought fit well was an old spring house coming right up to the stream itself, so that you would emphasize the feeling of a different world, an antique world, a trip into the past. Of an old spring house, which will butt right up to the stream, so that and it will be dug out so that you step down into it, and the water, which is at stream level, flows in. In the old days, it would have cooled the butter or the milk that was stored here. But today, it's what they call a folly. It's something beautiful to enjoy, to give you a sense of being in a different world as you look back over those meadows. At this point, the stream bows out, and we're going to excavate that, making a little pond, so that in this circle of about maybe 12 feet, you can see the stream flowing in an arc, what they call an oxbow. In here, we will dig it out and have a beautiful or interesting sculpture placed below the water level, so that when the light reflects on it, you can see, in this case, we thought the face of a Buddha, which adds to the tranquility of the place. So this was Andreas's contribution.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Trina Gay. And there's another form how we can all be part of this wonderful industry. Trina Gay, landscape designer and architect, and I'm a landscape contractor. This is how we're working together. So there are many different ways to have your place in this industry.
What's fun about it is that the whole time you're just batting ideas back and forth until somewhere out of this emerges the creation that's going to be built. That's what I love. Is measured the actual size of this rope diagram and drawn it to scale on this plan.
Right. And then there are going to be steps actually coming down, right?
Right. The steps will come down here. These are the different trees along the stream. And as you come up here, there's the smiling Buddha.
Okay, wonderful.
All right, so you think we marked the right trees on the plan?
I do believe so. I think we did a good job, and it's all to scale, which is so wonderful.
Right?
Correct.
And I will make a pretty picture that the customer wants to live inside of.
Wonderful. Okay. So I'm standing here with Gabriel Severy.
Yep.
Did I say this right?
You said it perfectly.
Wonderful. Gabriel, tell me where you're working and what is your job at Pinehurst?
I work at Pinehurst Landscaping in Glenarm, and I work on a crew, and we do mostly upper end residential installation work, some maintenance work, mostly installation, and also I think we're also moving into some more bigger projects, like we're doing one downtown right now. I know they did one in Mount Vernon last year. So.
When you talk about installation, are you talking about planting? Are you talking about stonework? What is it really that you, or is there, or are you doing all of these?
Yeah, pretty much all. We don't do a lot of work with like wood. We don't do like wood decking, but we do a lot of. There's a lot of hardscaping that we're doing now. Just kind of the way that things are going with people. You know what people want. So a lot of patios, a lot of stone stairs and pathways.
So you're exposed to a lot of different aspects of landscape installation.
Yes.
And while you're doing that, you're learning plants.
Yeah.
Great, wonderful. How long are you with Pinehurst?
I've only been with Pinehurst since beginning this program, so about 3 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you love what you're doing?
I really do. It's as far as all the jobs I've had so far in my life, it's the one I've enjoyed the most. I never wake up in the morning feeling like, I don't really want to get out of bed. I always wake up, I'm ready to go. I feel a lot of fulfillment in this job. You know, it's a hard day's work, but you appreciate it.
Gabriel, I mean, obviously I'm much older than you are, no? And I'm doing this now for over 40 years. I still have that. I'm waking up in the morning, I'm like, oh, today is going to be a really cool day because I'm doing something I've never done before.
Well, then I look forward to that in 40 years.
You know, and this is really still my life after 40 years to be in this industry, still learning new plans, still doing some of these installations different. You know, yesterday we looked at a project where we are going to create an old spring house where the floor is going to be flooded. This is where we do need to plant Paulownia trees. Then we are going to sink an old Buddha vase and have it underwater. So real cool stuff. We are like kids in a sandbox. You know, this is fun stuff.
Right.
No? What is it that you really do not love about your profession? If there is something that you would point out.
Right now, it's mostly just not having all the knowledge. Which, so, you know, it comes with time. It's just time,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, you just stick around long enough and
right.
You will know a little bit more in a couple of years and in 10 years,
right.
No? Do you feel like that you're well compensated for what you're doing?
Yeah, I get paid well at my job, and the fact that my tuition is very heavily covered for the program, that's a deal you don't see really anywhere else in any other profession that I know of.
That is true. That is true. And I already asked you earlier when we spoke, so you are excited about the possibility of foreign exchange within the program.
Yeah, that's new news to me as of just a couple minutes ago, but it's already making my mind go places and think how great an experience that is. I know I've been overseas at other points, but I've never done a educational exchange, so the possibilities of that are very interesting.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Gabriel, I think this was our interview already. Thank you so much. We are currently at CCBC in Hunt Valley, where the classes are being held for the American Landscape Institute every Friday. So, Gabriel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And all the best in your future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's D'Angelo.
D'Angelo!
How are you guys?
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Everything okay?
Uh-huh.
You're late.
I am late. Had a doctor's appointment this morning.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, but I appreciate you coming.
Oh, you know? No.
Because we really wanted you. I don't think we know each other, no?
No, I haven't met you before. So
yeah. And I'm standing here with D'Angelo Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
And D'Angelo is now a student at the American Landscape Institute. Today is Friday, it's lunch break. And so, D'Angelo, tell me where you're working at this point?
Right now I'm working at Pinehurst. And
What is Pinehurst?
Pinehurst is a landscaping company,
Mhm.
and pretty much it's out in Glenarm, and I pretty much getting familiar with plants and that type of thing.
Mhm.
And
What
getting
is it that you're doing on the job sites?
Exactly, I'm getting like a hands-on experience with like building things like masonry work, planting plants. I'm getting very familiar with just like naming plants and that type of thing. So that's very helpful because I am personally a hands-on type of guy. Like that's how I learn the best. So yeah, it's definitely giving me a great opportunity to be able to do that.
I'm glad you say that because I think there are a lot of people where the hands are actually working out so much better than the academics. It doesn't mean you're dumb, but it's just like God created us all different, right?
Yeah,
and
of
so
course.
this was always my talent. I always felt like the garden was my place, and I can actually, almost like a sculptor, you know, I can do things and I can envision where there's a planting bed and a walkway and a patio and how that all looks. And at the end of the day, you look back and you're like, wow.
Yeah,
This is cool. No?
Yeah, definitely. In my previous years playing lacrosse at CCBC Essex, actually, I was a fine arts major, so I definitely just kind of also in ties with the arts part of it.
So you have that connection. You love the outdoors,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, and you have a sensibility for sculpting and art.
Yes.
That is wonderful. D'Angelo, when you were little, what is it that you really wanted to be? What was your dream?
As a child, I think my dream, sports, honestly, just any, I can't really put a name on the exact sport, but I just know.
You played lacrosse.
Yeah, I wanted to do something with sports, and I actually didn't think about lacrosse being that thing until, I want to say maybe like 9th, 10th grade, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I think I would have to say sports.
And sports is also, I mean, very few people really can make a living out of sports.
Yeah, of course.
Right? You do sports because you love to move your body, you know, because...
It takes a lot out of you,
But to really become an NFL player or whatever, I mean, this is rare, no?
Very rare.
So, but on the other hand, you need your body in our profession, right? You need to have a good functional body to work in the landscapes.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
instead of doing, you have gym every day on the job site, don't you?
Exactly, yeah. I was going to say, I get a good workout every day.
Yes.
I can say that for sure.
And so do I. I mean, I'm now 54 years old, and I still have a good functional body.
You
know,
look like you're in shape.
I am in shape. I could still give you a run, my friend.
Yeah,
you know.
I bet.
There is the possibility of foreign exchange, meaning you could possibly go for 4 weeks to Germany or England, and you could work in a company like you're doing right now, and you would be living in a family. You would also go to school there. Does this at all sound attractive to you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That sounds really cool to me.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Because I think it would certainly, you know, open your eyes in different ways, you know, and you would come back as a different person. No?
Absolutely.
There is no doubt in my mind, when you finish this program and you finish it well, every landscape company in town would love to have you and pay you good money for that. And that is the idea, you know? And if you stay with Pinehurst, great, wonderful, no? But there is certainly money to be made and a good life to be lived, you know, being in this program.
Absolutely.
Okay, D'Angelo, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a great one.
Thank you, you as well.